he doesn't have to do anything until the World Cup is over.
Right.
And nobody's behind players now anyway. Everybody's in the World Cup.
No, what I'm saying is that the coach can focus on the Spain team, the Spanish team,
right.
instead of Real Madrid.
So they decided, all right, you're distracted. Your heart is with Real Madrid. We need somebody whose heart is with Spain. So they put the assistant. They made him the head coach, and that. So, but then Portugal comes up. They get a penalty kick in the 4th minute of the game, and everybody's screaming, "Oh, Spain! It's undisciplined. It's the new coach. It's all this nonsense that comes up."
Right.
But then Spain winds up coming back. Diego Costa, who again, another reprehensible human being, Diego Costa, former Chelsea scum, as I like to call him.
But you hate Chelsea.
He
so.
scored twice. This guy, he's a disgusting human being. But he scored 2 goals, including one where it looked like he hit a guy in the throat to get possession, and it went uncalled. But he scored twice, and then Nacho, not Nacho Libre, but Nacho scored on just a ridiculous blast from 25 yards, and that went in the lower corner. Now all of a sudden Spain's leading 3-2. So what happens? Spain gives away a free kick near the top of the box, and of course Ronaldo comes up and drills one bends it into the top corner, and now it's 3-3. Great game, absolutely outstanding game. Lots of end-to-end, the contrasting styles with counterattacks and pressing the action. Just a lot of fun to watch.
Well, a 3-3 game to me is a good game. I like to complain about soccer, even though we both played it.
Lots of goals for you Americans.
I like goals because I hate when it's too much midfield play, where it's going back and forth. Usually means the players are tired and they're not, there to play. Usually, but not always. So that's what that. I'm glad it was 3-3. Ronaldo getting a hat trick is always a good thing. Ronaldo, one of the premier players in the world. Let's be honest.
True. And then 2 days ago, Lionel Messi, another one of the premier players in the world, blew a penalty kick. Yeah. Just blew it. The Switzerland goalie the Iceland goalie made a dive to his right and stopped Messi's penalty kick, which was just mediocre. It wasn't a good effort. It wasn't going to the side netting like you wanted to. So Argentina and Iceland tied 1-1. First time ever that none of the 3 teams, Brazil, Argentina, and Germany, have always, at least one of them has always won their first match.
Right.
So now those are 3 of the best teams in the world. None of them won their opening match. So now there's a little bit of a scramble for some of these teams in terms of getting to the next round. Usually it's kind of a foregone conclusion that all 3 of those teams will win their first match and get to the round of 16. But now they're going to have a little doing to do, as they say.
Okay.
And then we have England playing Tunisia at 2:00 today in our time. Talk about another great one of the great players in the world, Harry Kane for England. He'll be looking for a hat trick.
You mean that Harry Kane?
No, I mean Harry Kane, the two-time Golden Boot winner in the Premier League. And right now, actually, Sweden and South Korea are playing right now.
What's the time difference? 6 or 7 hours?
I don't know. I think it's 7 hours.
Okay, that's not so bad.
So, but I would have to double check. I don't know for sure. But the games just keep coming. Lots of games, lots of fun.
2 or 3 week.
It's about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's going to be going on for several weeks, and I know I'm enjoying watching the games. Some of them require getting up really early to watch, but sometimes there's 2 games, sometimes there's 4.
But I like early games, so that doesn't bother.
It's good.
One thing that gets which I'm happy about is that the MLS is playing during this.
Yes, you love your MLS.
I love my NYCFC.
Yes, you do.
But they're playing one game at least a week this week, so that's a good thing. Anyway, we're going to take a break right now. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. We're streaming, and we also have a website at nccradio.org. Don't forget the iHeartRadio app. Tim, you're at Twitter at
Real Tim Leonard.
The Breakfast Club.
Don't you forget about me.
Patted Shoulders and Golden Girls. The Terminator.
I'll be back.
To Ferris Bueller. Take a trip back to the future.
That's the power of love.
Ron Stevens.
Saturday afternoons at 2 for 2 totally awesome hours of the decade of Madonna, Michael Jackson, and Whitney.
Essential 80s.
On the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
All hit music.
For all those songs radio has forgotten about, join me, Big Ed, Mondays from 10 a.m. till noon for The Good Gold Show. We'll bring back all the great hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. The sounds of doo-wop to disco, all the Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We'll even take your requests and dedications to The Good Gold Show.
Music.
On the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Opa, yasu. If that sounds all Greek to you, it is. The Soul of Hellas is where you will find a world of Greek music, dances, history, mythology, vocabulary, and anything Greek occurring on the island and beyond. Hosted by Teddy Savalas, myself, and Michael Anthony on The Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Opa, yasu!
Happy birthday to Paul McCartney and our grandmother. She would have been 110. She's been gone for 30 years now.
Long time.
I miss her. So do I. She was cool. And it's fun to see Mom doing the same thing Grandma did. So
I don't even know what that means.
it means that, you know, sometimes we copy our parents. Like sometimes you copy Dad. You know, with your
Rarely. That's more your territory, brother.
Oh, that's right. Anyway, welcome back to From the Press Box. I'm Rob Leonard. That's my brother Tim, award-winning sports writer. He is the man.
Thank you, brother.
And we're talking sports as we always do. We talked a little World Cup, and let's talk about something that happens. You know, I got to give the Yankees credit.
Yeah, you do.
They're the best at doing old-timers games. I even watch them when I have the chance.
Lots of ceremonies.
There's a lot of ceremony, not just because they keep winning. You know, I was talking to my friend Mitch Axelrod yesterday, and we brought up a point. You know, Mets don't do a lot of old-timers games. They used to.
The Mets don't celebrate their history.
The 70s, and they did. But then again, you would see DiMaggio there, too. So, you'd see, you know.
For the Mets?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Joe showed up for some of that stuff.
I don't know why. They must have paid him.
I'm sure they did. But
that'd be the only reason he'd show up.
The thing about, if you're going to, let's say, have an old-timers game for the Mets, you have to have Dave Kingman there.
Why?
Because
he was a surly.
Doesn't matter.
Not
He had
fun
a lot of
human being.
home runs.
It doesn't. He might not want to show up. That's the other thing you have to remember, brother.
Supposedly-
Not everybody wants to attend these things.
Supposedly, he does some work for the Mets, like
I
you know,
have
as an
no
alumni.
idea. I have no idea what Dave Kingman is doing. These
I don't
days.
either. But you're right. He was not the nicest guy to the media, or then again, I once got his autograph, and he was really nice at East River Savings Bank.
I don't remember him being nice that
Joe,
day.
do you remember that?
I remember the day. I don't remember him being all that nice.
All I remember was he wouldn't sign. Everyone wanted him to sign Kong because that was his nickname, and he wouldn't sign that. That's the only thing I remember.
I can understand him not being thrilled with that nickname.
Well, you know,
but you know that's. I remember him signing, being one of the first pro athletes that I remember who signed kind of an abbreviated name. Today, now, if you look at players and their autographs, you can't even tell.
Sometimes
their
you can't. I mean, I have some autographs that I got that I had to write on the back because I looked at it, I go, I have no idea what this
exactly.
is. So
exactly. I mean, I'll use my man Harry Kane as an example.
Right.
His autograph, I can't read it, and if I didn't know that he signed it and where he signed it,
right,
I'd be like, I don't know who this is.
That's true. Anyway, it was an old-timers game on a Sunday. Not usually they do it on Saturday, but
I don't think so. Usually it's on a Sunday.
No, it's usually on Saturday.
I'll take your word for it.
Anyway, I was shocked. Nick Swisher, who's only 37.
37.
He's part of the old-timers game.
Yep.
What the hell? Why isn't he still playing?
CC Sabathia, yesterday's starter, it was 38.
Yeah.
So gives you a little perspective.
Why isn't Swisher playing somewhere?
Because he stopped hitting. When you stop hitting, players don't get to play until they're 40. They just don't. It takes a rare player who, when he gets to the age of 40, is still on the field. And especially in today's baseball, because general managers have come to realize that the older a player gets, the more money you have to pay him. And the production at some point will start to dip, and the general manager will just say, you know what, I can pay a 22-year-old $550,000 to give me essentially the same production as the 39-year-old is going to give me, so let me pay the 22-year-old, and all right, take it easy, old guy.
Okay. Now, who's the oldest Yankee now that's still alive? Who is
Whitey, I think.
I think it's Whitey, too, yeah.
Whitey's 90.
90.
Whitey
man.
Ford. He's so old they're calling him Charles again. So, I mean, good for Whitey that he was there. Everybody wanted to take a selfie with Whitey, and, I don't know. I assume that he understands how cell phones work, because Whitey was always kind of like to dabble in the technology.
Right.
So, I'm sure Whitey was probably taking selfies too. But
you know what? I'm like, there's a picture in today's Daily News. There's a picture. I'm not sure who Reggie's taking the picture with, but he has it on his cell phone. Get these guys some digital cameras, man.
That's Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown, okay.
Yeah.
It's easier to take this selfie, but, you can get...
Reggie's got short arms, too.
You can get like a selfie stick and get like a camera, a real digital camera.
Well,
instead of just having the cell phone.
Ease, brother, ease. It's all about ease.
I don't know, man. It's just,
you would like to make things more difficult.
I just want a better quality picture. That's all.
And there's plenty of photographers there taking pictures. I think Reggie can find a picture.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd go to the photographer, the team photographer. Get me in every picture. I'll give you $100 each.
That's what I'm sure they were doing that. And plus, the newspaper photographers in situations like that,
they love getting
are
the picture.
happy to help out people like Reggie. And,
right.
Why wouldn't you? You get Reggie to sign a couple of prints, and you're all good.
Okay, there's a nice picture of Roy White. Who's the other guy? Jesse Barfield.
Jesse Barfield.
And Ron Guidry going gray.
Gator.
The Gator.
Gator's got to be like 65 now.
Yeah, probably more.
He's in that range. In fact, he's probably, if I had to guess, more like 67, 68, because that magical 1978 season, he wasn't a kid. He wasn't. He was like 27 or 28 back then, and he was to the point in his career before that, or a year or two before that, where he almost gave up the game.
Right.
Because he was tired of waiting. He was tired of getting blocked by the Yankees picking up veteran players and not giving him the shot. And then he finally did get the shot, and look what happened.
Yankees are tied for first with Boston.
How about that?
They're 46-21. Boston's 49-24. By percentage points, Yankees are technically in first, but the game's back thing is the same. Last 10, 7-3. They lost yesterday. And
CC 10 strikeouts yesterday at the advanced age of 38. So, but the Yankees just didn't score yesterday, and that was the problem.
CC has really fixed himself. Here's a guy 2 years ago.
He's still getting it done.
But 2 years ago, you thought he was over.
Because he couldn't throw. He was making that transition, and who was responsible for CC being the guy he is now, being the pitcher he is. You see him in the picture, brother.
Ron Guidry?
Andy Pettit.
Oh.
Andy Pettit taught CC the cutter. And this is going back years. I mean, when Pettit was still playing. So we're talking 5 years ago. But he told CC, because back then CC was he still had to deal with, he was losing the velocity.
Right.
He couldn't be a power pitcher anymore because he throws like 92 now. Which, hey, there's nothing wrong with 92, but it's not 98. So CC had to kind of reinvent himself, and it took a year or so. And Andy Pettit was on the phone with him all the time, telling him, look, trust it. Trust the cutter. Taught him the cutter. Andy Pettit threw as good a cutter as anybody. He said, trust the pitch, use it, refine it, and it'll work. And now you look at CC, and here's a guy who's 38 years old on a one-year contract, and he probably will leave the game either A, because he wants to and he doesn't feel like pitching anymore because he's got all the money he's ever going to need.
Of course.
But either it's going to be like he just says, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to spend time with my family. Or it's going to be because of his knee. It's not going to be because of his arm. Because he can still pitch. And he's made himself into more of a pitcher than a thrower. So from that standpoint, I wouldn't be surprised if he came back to the Yankees on another 1-year deal next year, based on what he's done so far this year.
That's what I expect him. I think he's going to sign 1-year deals and be happy with it, and the Yankees are going to be happy with it.
Yeah.
I think, here's a guy who